The late Nigerian novelist Chinua Achebe once said during an interview with the Paris Review in 1994, there is that great proverb that until the lions have their own historians, the history of the hunt will always glorify the hunter. Hoze Riruako, who is one of the only 4 Namibian authors published among the hundreds of international authors on the bookshelves of exclusive books, urged Namibians to inculcate a culture of writing to correct the misconstrued narrative of their history and culture, which is often narrated from a Eurocentric perspective.
I have seen in the neighboring South Africa, many academics are now writing, and they have written even before independence or even the liberation struggle there. In Namibia here, there you see now some people are putting their memoirs in their books. They start writing, but it's very few. I mean, I went through these books, and I was told there are about only 4 Namibian writers who have their books here, and some of them are in fictional. Some of them are not necessarily depicting the history of this country, where we come from, where we are going as a people, where we are as a nation. And I think this is what calls for every Namibian. It becomes a duty and obligation for us to fill this gap, to bridge this gap, and to answer this yearning call for Namibians to write things for themselves. Because history is history if it is written by the people themselves. It becomes his story because it is written by somebody else who believe it was like that. I have seen issues written about the Himbas, for instance, here. That has been completely taken out of context. About their culture, about their sexual orientation and so on. Completely taken out of context. So you have these people who are coming here to write, but they come with their preconceived notions as how Africa are, or how Africa should be, or how Africa is in their eyes. And remember, whatever picture in mind that they have developed, it has been coming on for years. It has been built on, years of bigotries, years of racism, years of separation, many things that have, built that picture that they have. Now, when the story is written by the person himself who made the history, who was there when history was made, who was affected by that history, or who is benefiting from that history, then the narratives change.
According to Riruako, in his latest book titled 2019 Elections Were the Most Polarized and Challenging Since Independence, he analyzes the changing political landscape in Namibia and describes the numerous challenges faced by SWAPO during its 30 years of power as the official ruling party.
SWAPO for too long have been in a comfort zone of saying that we brought you independence, right? That is the political of ideology. Now, the youth are changing the politics, the political culture in Namibia to say that, yes, you brought us independence, that is the ideology, that is the past, right? But we are now moving to an issue-oriented politics. What do you have for me now? I need a scholarship. The economy is going bad. I'm not getting employed. I'm roaming the street with qualification. What do you offer me now as a party after 30 years? Now, and then you have seen also the advent of the social media, where the youth are now moving, almost having their own platform. Gone are the days when the party used to depend on the public rallies and, to take their message and, across. The students and the youth and so on, they are now on the social media. So this has changed the landscape. Remember, one of the candidates who did, exceptionally well from opposing the ruling party, which was Dr. Itula, taking about 29%, close to about 30% of the votes for the presidential election. His message has something to resonate with what I'm talking about, because he said, okay, residentially, you vote for me. But in terms of parliament, you vote for any other political parties. These are the floating votes that I'm talking about. These are the protest votes that I'm talking about. So some of these the smaller political parties and some of these old traditional parties, I don't think they would have survived the onslaught had it not been for some of these votes that came their way. And then the other thing, it's the parties, the ruling party itself, the challenges within the party, the slow pace at adapting and changing with time. It's also costing the party, a lot of votes. Then the other thing that we discussed in the book, for instance, is the legal challenge. Now, the fact that political parties can take any party, for that matter, whether it is ruling or opposition, to task, it tests the judiciary. Is the judiciary independent? Do we have clear-cut division of, separation of power? And in this case, it was clear evident, it was shown beyond the preponderance of evidence that the judiciary can stand on its own leg. The case, in my opinion, and that was part of my analysis, was ruled basically and solely on credence and on merit.
According to the UNESCO Institute of Statistics, in 2018, Namibia's literacy rate for youth between 15 to 24 years of age stood at 95%. The literacy rate for Namibian women in the same age group stood at 96% compared to men who scored 94%.